You're listening to Built Together, the podcast all about Blacks united in leading technology, hosted by Audrey Bell-Kearney. These stories of innovation, collaboration, and upward movement will inspire and empower you. So take out a pen and paper and
Welcome to the first episode of Built Together. I am excited to be here with you guys today. So listen, my name is Audrey Bell-Kearney. For those of you who don't know me, you probably know me from Good Morning Gwinnett or one of the other 12 podcasts that I host. No, it's only 5. It's only 5. But I am the host of Good Morning Gwinnett, amongst some others. I'm also the chapter president for the Metro Atlanta chapter of Built, which stands for Blacks United in Leading Technology. And I'm so super duper happy to have my guest today, Mr. Peter Beasley, who is one of the co-founders. Now, he wears plenty of hats, y'all. He's a co-founder. He's the chair of the board. He's the executive director. He sits on other boards. He's a technologist for over 30 years, and he is really making a dent in the tech space for Black folks, and I'm happy to have him. So, Peter, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to lead up the whole metro area here in Atlanta, but also for being my guest today.
Oh, no. So thank you so much, Audrey. You have so much energy. I'm just so happy to be here with you. So thank you much.
You're very welcome. I'm super excited about this. I tell Peter, like, I'm not really technology. I'm not like a tech, but I can figure out how to put some stuff together, Peter. I can take a plug-in and blend it all together and do some I can mix some stuff up. So, but I don't know how to code or anything like that. But I can find a shortcut to anything. I can tell you that right now. Like, this show is streaming on all these different platforms, and that's because I had to figure out, okay, what can I stream this show? So I'll find out how to make some things happen. But you're a technologist, and you've been in this space for a very long time. First, give people a little bit of background about you, how you got into tech, and what's the difference between back then and now? Because I know you've seen it evolve over the last 30 years.
Yes, thank you so much, Audrey. And yes, you do have it all together. I'm just looking at the little marquee at the bottom and the music and the graphics. Yeah, we need to get you into the marketing, and you can really hook some things up. And I do have the email. It's less than a year old, which was my first tweet ever. And I can remember one of my colleagues saying, "Welcome to the 20th century." You know, I've done one tweet, or I've probably mastered about 20 now. But yes, it's a long time that I got started back. This is real gray hair, and thank you for pointing that out there, Audrey. And I will excuse. I will just say I am in the middle of a 2-day garage sale, and so behind me are some things we're trying to sell at my mother's house. So if anybody wants some things out of the front yard, and I hope nobody's going to ring the doorbell and ask for some more things. But that's what's going on here. But yeah, back in the day, where did I come from? How did I get here? I got lucky, and in many respects, you don't get to pick your parents. You don't get to pick where you're born. You don't get to pick, what country. So born in America, African-American. My parents, 2 wonderful parents, married together 70 years, Christian family. My dad was in the Air Force, so I moved around, lived in Sacramento, California, Anchorage, Alaska, London, England, San Antonio, Texas. Blessed with some little brain power, I guess, so I was always very good at math, and did reasonably well in English too. And so was able to go to University of Texas at Austin, and UT Austin is so hard to get into it now. You got to be in the top 10 and all these sorts of things. And I was able to do that and came out with an electrical engineering degree in 1980. And had 8 job offers in my field, and was just shocked. My son's, he's 31 now, but when he came out of Texas A&M, he and his friends, it was so hard to even get a job, much less talk about one in your field. And so I didn't know how good I had it, and had a very dynamic, exciting corporate career, especially in the beginning. Worked Mobil Oil and oil industry. Ultimately on a ship, 2 months on, 1 month off, 2 months on, 1 month off. The first trip was to Athens, Greece, got off in Southampton, England, got back on in Aberdeen, Scotland, all over Africa, Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Durban, South Africa, Djibouti, Abu Dhabi, Madagascar. So I did that in my early 20s. Was featured in Ebony magazine for what I was doing, traveling the world as an engineer. And life was great until until I came out of the field. So it was a lot easier. It seemed to be if you're technically inclined, and you can build the app, you can make the widget that makes people money, and you're out. You're out somewhere. But when I came into Dallas, Texas was our corporate headquarters for that division of Mobil, and moved into management very early in my career, which is another blessing. The game got changed on me. It wasn't how fast you can code something. Also, I can't code either, Audrey. I'm an infrastructure person, so I'm not a developer. But it wasn't about technical prowess, and it's a lot more people skills. Who knows you, who will help you, who's back. You scratch, or you will scratch theirs, or you'll look the other way. I wasn't real good at looking the other way. There was a lot of things going on that were not cool, and I was vocal, and that wasn't didn't work out the best for me, initially, but it's a part of who you are. It makes you who you are when you speak up, when you see bad acting happening, and you are not able to just do what everybody else does and look the other way. And that's a big part of who I am. That's part of what you get from your parents and where you came from. Am I rambling? Am I
You're not, but I had to just say this real quick. So Amir said 70 years. Amir, when he said that, I was like, oh my God, 70 years. How does one do that? Like I'm knocking at 19, and it has been some work. So 70 years, I can only pray for 70 years. I can pray for 25.
You talk about marriage? Oh yeah. I don't know how they did it. My dad just died this past November, and so my mom lives with me now. So I have a 91-year-old mother that lives with me, and that's a change, and it's a change for her too. She's over there on the other side of the room, and but that blessing is amazing. It's just amazing to watch them do it, to have lived in that type of setting. I'm not saying it was perfect, but of what you have learned. And another thing about me, I'm single. I'm divorced. I was married for, you say you've got 19 in. I only got 3.5. So I don't know how they did 70. And my sister was married 3 times. She recently passed too. But she joked and said, Peter, not only do we know of somebody that's been married 50 years, we're related to him. Can you believe that? Because she wasn't real successful in marriage, and I haven't done it again yet. I would love to, but it's crazy. It's crazy out there. That's a whole other stuff.
Let me just say this. Don't say that too loud, because I am a matchmaker on the flip side of this podcast. I resigned. They made me resign, Peter. I've been trying to. I had such bad luck in matchmaking, and I ain't gonna even talk about it. But I'm always trying to hook somebody up, and my friends made me resign after I tried to hook one of my friends up on Facebook, and he's like, "Oh, you do know everybody can see this conversation." I'm like, "Holy crap!" So they made me resign. I keep going into retirement, and they keep pulling me back out every time they say they're looking for love. So I go back in. So be careful how you say that. I'll be trying to find you a wife here. That's what I do.
Hey, if she wants to take some of this stuff out of his yard too, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Oh God. So, now let me ask you this, because I was good in math, right? I was good in math. I was good in science. I was okay in English, but math and science, they were my thing. But nobody told me to go to school to be an engineer. My guidance counselor told me to go to school to be an accountant, which was a very bad thing for him to say to me, because I went to school and like, oh my God, how I hate this. What made you decide when you went to university that you want to get into engineering? Was that something you said, okay, I'm good at this, let me go into engineering? How did you get on that path? Because that wasn't the path I got put on.
Yeah. God, that's all I can say, is because I knew I was going to be an engineer probably my sophomore to junior year in high school. So it was just, good guidance from the counselors and teachers. So I made straight A's my first year in college at UT Austin in an engineering program. I made, really, I was in the top 5% of my high school class of, pretty large class. And so early on, I was, I was a tinkerer. I took all my watches apart, could never get any one of them back together. My parents stopped buying me watches because I would unscrew them and could never get those little parts together. I played around with electricity and batteries and wires and light bulbs. You know, you're a kid. You know, this is before integrated circuits and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. But I was always a tinkerer. So somebody in the school system said, you know, you ought to be an engineer. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is, but I knew I wanted to go into engineering because I was advised to take calculus in high school. And in our school system, that was a 5th year math. And so you had to take summer school. So I took summer school my sophomore year, or it's probably freshman or sophomore, that I knew already I wanted to take calculus in high school. So I had to take, I think, trigonometry or geometry one summer so I could get to calculus in high school. So when I went to college and I had calculus, it was a review, you know, for the most part. So, that was good guidance, you know. You know, and you know, I was in the chess club, I was in Boy Scouts, Junior Engineering Technical Society, you know, so that was Junior Engineering Technical Society. So I hung out with the nerds and the high water pants and the thick glasses and slide rules, if anybody knows what that is. So that's where I was. And so they were talking about engineering. So, you know, that's where I kind of ended up. But it's just, you know, birds of a feather, kind of went down that path.
So right now we're in the tech age. You know, they got industries that have come along over the years. You had the automotive industry. You had the you know, the construction industry, all these different industries that came along. Now we're in this tech space, and although technology has been around for a long time, it's open right now. It's open to a lot of people, and I do see the numbers ticking up for Black folks in tech. But I got to read some of these numbers off. I did some research to prepare for the show today, and this was a survey that was done in 2008, late 19, and I'm going to talk about the 4 big ones. So the 4 big ones are Apple, Facebook, Google, and Microsoft. And speaking of Facebook, y'all, I know people are trying to watch on Facebook, but Facebook is down. Can y'all believe that? Like it keeps popping up right now saying try again, and I'm trying again, but it's not me, it's Facebook. So I know Mark Zuckerberg is over there peeing his pants right now. But but I want y'all to listen to these numbers, right? They're staggering. And I'm sure this is probably one of the reasons why you actually decided to start Built. And you can tell us about Built after I read these numbers, because they were staggering. So in 2014, Apple, in the company Apple, the workforce was made up of only 6% Black folk. 6%. That was 2014. 2018, still at 6%. Okay. Now this is the one that really shocked me. This is one that really shocked me. Facebook, 2014, 1% Black folks in the company. 2018, 2%. Google, 2014, 1%. 2019, 2%. Microsoft. Now this probably shocked me even more than Facebook, because you know, the Gates, they're always giving away a lot of money, all these things, whatever. But Microsoft, 2014, 2%. 2018, 3%. Those numbers are staggering. And to this day, Silicon Valley is known as the whitest tech space on earth, right? I got to give it up to Metro. Got to get up to the Metro, because right now I think we're right around number 1 over Austin. I gotta say that, over Austin. Yeah, I don't know, Peter. So you head going to the center there.
I don't know. You leaving out North Texas and Dallas. So
okay.
I'll put my little plug in. I know this is your show. You did the math, but Dallas has twice the population of Black people. So the national average is 14%. Dallas is 27%. So we have a lot of Black people. And that's professionals, lawyers, doctors, politicians. It's just, you know, rank and file folks. So there's more Black people here, and we are a tech center. So we do have high tech here, and Fort Worth is above the average. So I would say that North Texas is the largest population of employed Black technologists on the planet. Now, I agree, there are a lot in Austin and also in Atlanta, but just the geography It's a very large geography, the Metroplex, Fort Worth, Dallas. It is a lot of tech, and there are a lot of Black people. So, we're bigger than Atlanta. DFW is bigger than Atlanta. And I don't know, what is your population there, Black population?
Ooh, I don't even know. I
Yeah,
know for
percentage.
even in Gwinnett County where I am, we have about 1 million residents, and believe it or not, the Hispanic population is the biggest.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And so yeah, we have a lot of things that have come together, but Austin and also greater Atlanta are, we're all at the top. So we're all in the right game. We're all in the right place.
And that's a good thing. But Peter, why do you think that these numbers are still so very low? Because right now, you can pretty much go to any online, and I give you a prime example. Because anytime I want to learn anything about anything, I go to Udemy or Udemy, depending on how you want to say it, and learn something new, right? So why do you think these numbers are still so very low when it comes to Blacks in the tech space?
A lot of reasons. There are a lot of reasons. And I would just say at some level, if the collective we put our mind behind something, we can solve something, we can fix something. And so, going after bin Laden, we got him. If we want to, we'll find you eventually. And so if we want to correct this, we could do it. If the system, the people in power, the organizations, the corporations, they wanted to make those numbers be better, it could be. So to some degree, there's some people that don't want that to change, or they're okay with the change that's happening slowly, or in some cases, the numbers you cited, they went backwards, and so there's that. There is a level of that. There is I think, a larger level of, a lot of people don't know how to fix it on both sides of the fence. There are certainly a lot of Black people that could probably do better to bring themselves up or to get positioned better. But we in Built, me in my role as executive director, I talk to tons of corporations that I can tell they are serious. They're saying, we want to do better. We have no clue what to do first. I said, well,
Wow.
okay, well, you picked up the right, you dialed the phone number. That's a good step. First, what is it? 10-step, 12-step program. First is, I'm powerless. Get on your knees and pray or something. I don't know, but some really, really want to do something, but don't know how. They don't have the connections to. They don't have the experience. They don't have the system. There's institutionalized patterns within their own companies that they cannot change easily. So there's a lot of reasons those numbers are still that way. It is changing in different pockets. You could pick different geographies and different companies. Those big four, yeah, they do very poor. You could throw in some other big brands, but there's other brands and other companies that are making great inroads with Black and brown technologists. And so again, in my, I'd say, 2.5 years of being in this role or roles like this, I have seen a shift. That the first times I was taking a lot of those phone calls or following up on those emails of people trying to, make a difference in corporations, and we want to sponsor, we want to find out what can we do. And it felt a little bit more like a, check the box. I made a phone call today to a Black group. I can, help a lady walk across the street and pet a dog, or a cat, or something, and I can, go to heaven and when I die. It's more like it was just something people were doing. But then more and more, um, I was getting people that are telling me why they called, where they want us exactly plugged in their program. Like, whoa, you have a program. You're actually doing it. You want us in this part of your program. Wow, tell me more, because there's other companies asking, what can you do? It's like, do what they're doing. They're really doing something. And I would say too, the media, and not to, I I'm in a latter generation, and I probably haven't gotten coached up enough on public speaking, but I would say it was a population of white female reporters. They would get pissed off. But just telling about some of the experiences we go through as Black people, just our normal, like, yeah, this happened. Now the reporters, they are mad. You had to put up with it? Like, yeah, that's just, part of what happens in our culture. Like, oh no, I'm going to write on this. This is not, we're not having that. And so the media is actually an ally. You find a lot of government entities. You have many corporations. You have individuals. We have, in our Built family, there's an individual, a single white guy in San Francisco. He, out of his own back pocket, gives us $3,500 every 6 months to get scholarships. He's doing more than some corporations are doing, just because he notices there aren't, he said, mostly Black women. He says there's no Black women in his field of tech. So he just went in his own back pocket. How about that?
So that's amazing. So speaking of, like, fields to get into, because I know that there are a shortage of Black women in tech. What are some of the best fields for Black folks to get into? Because I look at, I'm fascinated by tech. I'm a little bit of a tech junkie. I'm a nerd. Like, I'm a nerd too. So I'm looking at AI, and I'm looking at, like, I have clients, and I remember telling one person they wanted to launch a podcast. Like, oh, I just don't have the time. And I was like, listen, I can make you a podcast and use AI to duplicate your voice, and you'll have a podcast. Nobody knows you. They thought that was the freakiest thing, and they was like, "What?" So it was like, "Nah, don't do that." But the technology is there, and like I said when I first started, I will find a way to make something happen. And so, but there's smart technology out there like that. Right now, from your inside looking out, what are some good industries for us to get into, especially women? And why are women so afraid to get into tech? Because I like it. I just haven't had the time. I reached out to Peter. I gotta tell you this, because he probably thinking, girl, you better sit down. I reached out to Peter and I said, Peter, there's a company that's one of the sponsors for Built, and they had a program going where they was going to teach you how to code. Right? They're going to teach you how to code. They're going to give you a job while they teach you, and they're going to give you a 2-year position paid, after you learn how to code. So I reached out to Peter, like, Peter, I think I need to take this. I want to learn how to be a developer. And he was really, what he was saying was, when are you going to have the time, for real, Audrey? And I was like, no, maybe, I can check it and make sure it's not ageism in the industry. And as I slept on an open night hill, I was like, he's absolutely right. I can't do this on the weekend. I'm just barely keep my head up. But what industries would you say are some good industries for females to get into? But before you answer that, what do you think some of the hindrances are? Because the technology is there.
Yes. Yes. So to deal with that a little bit, technology is such a broad field that there's some things that people don't really realize. It pays a lot. It's a future-proof career, but there's parts of it that's hard. So you may not like coding. You might not like sitting behind a screen watching bits and bytes going by in a network operations center. You may not like dealing with people a lot and being a project manager or a customer support person. So the biggest part first starts with you. And so, where do you fit? What's good with you? How did you get in? So it's not as automatic of, oh, I'm going to go pick that and I'm going to go do it. That can lead to some frustration in some cases. I'm not saying don't have a vision or a desire or a goal. It's just you almost always want to be in a field that you like doing and you have an affinity for. So tech is very, very broad. You can be a writer in tech. You could be a developer in tech. You could be an infrastructure person in tech, a project manager, marketing in tech. There's tons of fields in tech. And so one, you have to know yourself and what are you good at? What do you like doing? Again, artificial intelligence is hot. Cybersecurity is hot. You can hear all these hot buzzwords, but like, do I really want to do that though? Do I want to learn how to do object-oriented programming? And you fall asleep during the training class. You don't get the self-paced thing done because you don't really like it, or you're not. You have an affinity for it, or in some cases you're not good at it. It's hard to understand some of those constructs and things like that. And so, not to get discouraged, there are so many broad areas, such as again the writing side. So one of the things about that we do in Built is try to chronicle and highlight people that pivoted. We are much more about adults pivoting into tech instead of K-12 or STEM or college people. College people in an engineering program, well, they already know they're going into tech. We're helping people that, they high school, college, AIDS, they, got down a path wherever they had some children, some bills, some different things. And so, now at 38, 41, 50, like, can I turn this thing around? And so we're more focused on that, on how we can help people pivot into tech. And so there's the piece of, finding something that you can leverage from where you are. That helps, is to be able to do that. But then there's that other piece of getting in. That is equally a challenge. Just because you say you want to be in tech and get into tech doesn't mean you can get into tech. And so part of what you also might need is the hookup, or a relationship, or networking, or volunteering. All those different things are equally as important. There's people that we know that are studied, they're certified, they've done all they're supposed to do, but can't get in. They don't get the job offer, or they don't do well in the job. So it's kind of a couple of things. It's getting yourself positioned and ready in something that you can do, like to do, but then also getting in. And that's, you cannot necessarily all pull them all together at the exact same time you want. So I don't know if I answered your question completely.
You did. You did. And I want to say this, because that you brought up an interesting point. Like, you got the skills, you got the training, now you're trying to get in. But how important is having a mentor, and where do you find a mentor? Because I think a lot of times we want mentors, right? And then we go out, we're searching for a mentor, and we don't even know where to find them. And studies have shown that white people get mentors much quicker than Black folk. And I think for a lot of us, it's like, okay, I like tech, I want to get in, but I don't even know where to go, or I need a mentor and I can't find one.
Yes. So shameless plug. So at Built, join Built, one of our programs for members. It is a members only benefit, is we have a mentor program. We have corporate sponsors, and the numbers of corporate sponsors are increasing, of people that want to mentor. So we have people that want to mentor who are saying the same thing. I need someone to mentor. And then you got people also saying, I want someone to mentor me. And we at Built help pull that together. We have an official program with a corporate program coordinator. We have a Built program coordinator, and we do the matchmaking. Just like you said, Audrey, we do matchmaking here too. But a lot of it too is the informal mentoring that you absolutely need to seek out too. So you should be able to find people in your church, your school system, your neighborhood, Built, all these different groups where, ask somebody. A lot of times, people are saying, I wish I had a mentor. Well, did you really ask anybody? And then the ask, there's a way to ask, and there's a way not to ask, or an effective way to ask. And there's people that ask very ineffectively, let's just say it that way, and you think about your matchmaking days there, Audrey, it's just sometimes you just can't come up and say, hey girl, or hey boy, I'm yours. And like,
Right.
really? And so, you'll have the people, will you mentor me? I mean, that's just not the best ask. It is an ask, and it's better than nothing. But more effective is to volunteer and serve and be around those people. And so, often those people, I can remember, so I started a software company in my journey of corporate America. I started finding, no seat left for me. So I was constantly getting laid off, and right sized and downsized, and all the different stories where I have to get another job. And so I ultimately started a software company. And then in that same journey, I found a lot of the same challenges move with me, even though I thought it was corporate. No, it's because I'm in a racist environment. How about that? And I'm still Black, and they're still in power and control. And so a lot of those same dynamics move with me. But the secret sauce I learned was volunteerism. And so I served I joined nonprofit organizations. I joined professional organizations. I volunteered to be on the committees. I did the homework. I showed up. I was at every meeting. I wrote the minutes. There's all these jobs in nonprofits that nobody likes doing. Taking the minutes. Um, sometimes being treasurer. Nobody wants to have that responsibility. I mean, but somebody's got to do it. And so just volunteering and serving and being a man and woman of your word. How many times, certainly in Built, I've had so many people volunteer air balls. No backboard, no rim. You think we're playing football. Like, no, you don't kick it the other way. They're rolling soccer. They're playing soccer on a basketball field, kicking the ball in the other people's goal. We're shooting basketball that way. And why did you even say you were going to play basketball if you're not going to come to any meetings? You're not going to, when you volunteered for something, you didn't do it. But those people that do those, oh my goodness. So I can count people on our board that all they did is just be a woman and man of their word, and, from where I sit, you say I do wear a lot of hats, and yeah, I do, but I've worked very hard, and I'm looking for those other people, and they are there. And those are the people that are also rising up because they said, I will, I can, and they do. And so along the way, you do hear the people, hey man, can you help me? Like, will you do something? Well, I mean, and in some cases, you still do reach out to those people and you give them some advice or some homework. Like you said, Audrey, you got prepared for your own meeting. You did some work, so, showing up for the very first meeting with your mentor, have done something, or if they suggest some things and you have that next meeting. And, for me, I will on the sly or on purpose, like whatever happened to those 7 things I suggested. There better be a couple of them you did, or at least have a good reason why, you're like, yeah, I didn't, yeah, that's right. I need to do that. Like, yeah, okay, let me find somebody else to mentor, so,
Right.
so you can put yourself in a position to be mentored. And then, mentors mentor for reasons. They want to feel good. They want to be listened to. There's benefits of being a mentor. You want to give back. You want to help other people, and they're very busy people in many cases. And so be respectful of their time. And so part of the problem is people not looking for mentors, knowing how to put themselves in a position to be found by a mentor, to be helped and allowed. I made a lot of those mistakes in my career. I can remember a couple of people, trying to mentor me. And I was, I don't really need your help kind of thing. And then I remember at Mobil, this guy, he was so far up the chain, but he was a PhD kind of guy. And it was like, he's kind of goofy, but he was way up the chain, and he liked me, and he was gonna, help me a little bit. And I thought I was doing fine on my own. And then we had this layoff, and I don't know how he ended up in New York. He ended up like 2 more layers up. Like, man, I should have been on his coattail. Instead of,
Right.
I don't know, he was a little goofy. Like everybody else thinks he's goofy. I'm gonna, I don't know. But sometimes, it's those goofy people that are maybe goofy on purpose. Who knows? So.
So I know that you are one of the co-founders of Built. So why did you start this organization? And I'm happy to be a part of it. So why why was now the time?
Well, so yes, so Built 3 co-founders. So me, John Melanson, and DeAndre Laverty. And I would say absolutely we wouldn't be here without all of us. I certainly wouldn't have done it, couldn't have done it without them. And so that's an equal stake there. All 3 of us came from another brand, Blacks in Technology. So we were all part of a different collective. And then there was a red letter day, a coup of sorts that happened. And so I had coalesced several independent, there were 12 independent Blacks in Technology group. None were collective. And, you ask why, it was more of a why not? Where we were in society, Black Lives Matter, I believe, had happened. The murders of Black people, the the allies, the movement. And so I was just a co-leader. I did not start Blackton Technology Dallas either. I'm when I was preaching about volunteering, that's what I did. The guy who started it, the very first meeting, said, I'll help. I knew him. I liked him. He's a good guy. I'll help him. I didn't know I'd end up here. I didn't know all of George Floyd and, Breonna Taylor. I didn't know all that was going to happen. All I knew is I liked Andrew. I can get behind Blacks in technology. That makes sense to me too. And I was very well connected. I've done a lot. I served on a lot of white boards, and I'm like, I think I can do this. I think I could actually help. And we went from 0 in May of 19 to 1,000 people by September. So we were having mad success. Again, a large geography. And then as time kept going on, we were getting sponsor looks. People were looking to sponsor us, but we're a Facebook group. We're a meetup group. We had no bank account. We had no corporation. There was no figurehead. We shared a name and a logo, but that's it. And so, I'm that person that, I can think on my days on the ship and with Mobil Oil, we'd pull in a port in Madagascar or Holland, Rotterdam, Holland, and the guys get off the boat. What do you do if you work on a boat and you come to port? You go looking for girls and drinking beer. So I would be the one, I'd be the scout. I would go ahead of the group looking in. I'm curious. I'm innovative. I'm looking around. It's like, why aren't we rolled up? Like, why? We would be so much stronger together. And nobody else was able to. I'm semi-retired then. I had the experience. It was more of I had no option. It was a calling. I had to act. So I rolled up all of those groups. 10 of the 12 stayed together. They are now still operating under the brand Bit Foundation. So that group still is, I pulled them together, got it started. And then when we had that Red Letter Day, John, myself, DeAndre, and Jeff Smith out of Chicago, let's do it again.
What's the Red Letter Day? Pink Slip Day is, but what's a Red Letter Day?
Well, I would say, there's some life patterns that you can end up with in your life. And I would say this one started for me when I was in the 3rd grade. And I haven't been able to shake it. It's, people cheating off of your paper. And, if you were that kid that, you get all the things answered right, or, you raise your hand, I know. And so I was that kid. People sometimes hate that kid. I just happen to know the answer and nobody else answered. I'm looking around. Well, I know again. Well, Peter. And, well, I'll give him a chance, but nobody else, and so that was me from, my life. It's just a life pattern. And so all the things that I was preaching and was hoping for, and that a lot of people bought into of that group was coming true. We were getting sponsor dollars. We were I was quoted in Wall Street Journal, and all these things were happening. And in my life, what will happen is somebody else wants that. And so I don't see it coming, and behind me will be something that, so there was an action that was taken that broke us up. And so we just said, we'll take the high road. Let's just go start over and let the chips fall where they fall. So that's what that was.
I gotta say this real quick. So that was your mom just walked by?
Yeah, your
mom is moving. You said she's 91 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank gosh. Your mom just strolled by. I said myself, 91. God is good, ain't he?
I was trying to get her to go around the other way. She heard me the first time, but this time, I don't know. Where she is, that door is locked, so she can't get out. But she'll be back in a second. So I'll have her wave this next time when she comes by.
Okay, that's fine. So, I love what you said. I gotta tell y'all something real quick. So I'm sitting up here, right? I got this light shining in my face, right? I'm hot. And I was like, oh my God, I'm hot. So technology, I opened up my phone and turned the air conditioner up. That's technology. I didn't get out this chair to turn up the air conditioner. I just opened up the phone and turned the thermostat up. So that's the kind of stuff that we need to be a part of. We need to make sure that we got some skin in the game, a seat at the table. And so that's why Built is so important, because it gives you the opportunity to have a seat at the table. It gives you an opportunity to find that mentor. It gives you the opportunity to find a founder for what you're trying to do. So if you had to say where you want to see built in the next 5 years, I'm not going to say 10 years, I'm going to say 5 years. What would that look like?
Well, that's easy. That's easy. I want to credit you, Audrey. It's the next group of leaders. So we had our first board elections, and so we are a professional organization that the members vote and pick, who runs this organization, and that's different than a lot of the other brands that someone owns, or there are so many of the Black affinity groups that are money makers for a few people on the backs of tons of volunteers for a good cause. So we're purely nonprofit. And yes, as I said earlier, this is gray hair, and I found myself at an intersection with skills, gifts. I'm a builder, a putter together. I'm a risk taker. I don't care that someone attacked us or it. The mission's right. We'll just go do it with different people. We know what we're doing. We'll be apart from the drama, and so that's a big part of who we are, what we are, and so a movement needs followers, and so we've been able to transition the first board to a second board peacefully. A lot of countries can't do that well, of changing of powers. And America does that reasonably well. We've not had massive insurrection, other than January 6th was the first closest craziness. That was crazy that this country has in an election. We are able to orderly re-elect power. Built has done that, and that's hard. That was hard, and we did that successfully. Bringing in the Audreys, the Brandons, the Needs and Twin City. I'm naming some of the chapter leaders. That is so important. Our committees, you all that are looking for mentors or looking to get into tech, join a committee. It is so easy to volunteer, serve. That's a big part of what we need to do. So we've got some membership targets. We've got some partner targets. So we see ourselves a part of the big four. The big BDPA, Black Data Processing Associates, been around a long time, great organization. I've been a member. John's been a member. NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers, great organization. I also credit ITSMF, IT Senior Management Forum, great organization. National Black MBA Association, National Black NABA, National Accountants, National Association for Black Accountants. We're one of those. We're not just an affinity group that's here for now for the cause to make a lot of money. We're here for the long haul. So we would like to be, you said 5 years, 20 years and 50 years. We should still be empowering people. We are the big U. We're uniters. We're not about us, which is a little different. It's not about our brand. It's about how we can bring people together across the aisle, the different Black groups, but massively the white groups. And so we have alliance partner goals too. So of the things I do, another hat I wear is I lead ITSMF, IT Service Management Forum. It's a different, same initials as ITSMF. IT Senior Management Forum is a Black senior leader group, but I also lead IT Service Management Forum USA. It's the ITIL infrastructure people, and it is historically a very mostly all the board has. Before me, I was the first Black person. There was a Black woman before, I do know of. I think I'm the first Black man on the board. And we have 3 on the board now that I've been here. And so it's bringing organizations like that together with us and across the community. That we have scholarships and relationships that you can join Built and get discounts over at ITSMF USA, and vice versa. People in ITSMF USA can get some of our benefits in Build. And so it's things like that we want to do more and more of with the cybersecurity organizations and Black Girls That Drone. And we have the Black Tech Symposiums is another unique offering. Our second one is happening October 19th in Philadelphia, 19th through 21st. And so we kicked off the first one this past June in North Texas. And so you don't have a movement unless you have somebody that follows you. And so Carla Hill in the Philadelphia chapter came second, and Audrey, you might be third, and next, and we got to find who's next. But so things like that we want to see happen is more Black Tech symposiums, more members at Mom. You can wave this time. You want to wave, Mom?
Hey, hi, Mom.
Hi.
And so
Moms are precious. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. Moms are precious.
moms are precious. Oh yes, 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 yes. And I'm so sorry you lost yours. And
I know.
it's just so hard and tough.
That's why for me, Peter, a lot of people say, oh my God, it's a live show. Somebody walked in that show. That's your mom. Like at the end of the day, I wish my mom could walk through my show right now. Like I wish that. So I welcome your mom walking through your show. It's perfectly okay with me. Trust me when I tell you that. So I'm going to be interviewing Carla next Monday. She's going to be talking about the symposium. What can people expect from the symposium? And then after that, I want you to talk about what is it? What's the company? I was like, I'm going to learn how to. I'm going to go. We're going to talk about that after we do this. Talk about Carla in the symposium.
Okay. What can people learn at the symposium? So again, the concept is to coalesce all of the groups in a geography that are about the mission to increase Black people in tech, the representation, participation of Black people in tech. And again, it's not just us in Built, it's Black Girls That Drone, it's the employee resource group of Comcast, or it's Dallas County, or it's City of Philadelphia is coming in strong. So we have several presentations coming up from the IT department of the City of Philadelphia. We have tons of organizations. Let's see, Philadelphia Black Think, Item. There are so many unique groups in all of our different geographies of founders, teams of people that have found what works in Atlanta or Philadelphia or New Orleans that we would have never known about. And so we want to plant the infrastructure in a geography such that we can bring our methodology, we'll fund it, and then some local leader can go and pull together people, and that will empower that group and the other groups. And so we host it, but it is really not a Built phenomenon. The Black Tech Symposium of whatever that city is pulled together by those people in that city. And so, so a big part of our future is the Audreys and the Carlas and the Nee Korshis and Twin Cities that become their own business people. We want to empower them to run their own nonprofits with grant dollars and corporate dollars that we get at the top to help you deliver it in your community in a way that makes sense for you. We won't know that, and so that's a big part of what we're doing with the symposiums too.
Okay, that's cool. Now talk about the company that's one of our sponsors, and that's the one I was going to go, take the class and go work for. Or at night, listen, at nighttime, y'all. I'm like, yeah, I could do it at night, Peter. Like maybe on the weekends, and then good sense slapped me. Was like, girl, stop playing with yourself. What's the name of that company?
Reviture.
Yes.
So we have a program, we call it Built Paid Into Tech. And so we have a partner, Reviture. They're one of the leading consulting companies that help empower people to get into tech. They do have a training program that they work. They partnered with us, and they have some other partners in this program that you literally get paid. It is minimum wage for 10 weeks to learn tech. And then after the 10 weeks, you are hired at either 45K or 55K, depending on which project they put you on or what software development stack that you learned. It could be Java, it could be .NET, it could be Python. So you get a 10-week training class. It's a full-time job as an employee. And then at the end of that, you get a raise to a 45, 50K salary. And in the end of 12 more months, you get a 15K salary bump on top of that, which is 85 or 95K. And then in another 6 months, typically the client that they have you placed at hires you as their employee. So that's quite a bit of what that program does. It is the type of program that they are investing in you, they're teaching you, they're giving you certifications. And so you do actually have to sign and say, yes, I'm going to stay with you, Reviture, after you've taught me all these wonderful things. No, you can't go get the cert and get the free training and get paid and say, okay, now I'm going to go hire on over here. You are their employee. They're investing in you. and they expect you to go to work at their client. That's how they make their money back. But you got into tech, and you have benefits. And so it's a real program. And if minimum wage makes sense for you where you are in your life, that's better than just, hustling and learning that on the side. Why not take a sabbatical? If you have the ability to take off the 10 weeks and really focus instead of, your retail job. You're in a retail industry, and you can tell, the trajectory is, kind of like, what it is. It's just not going to get you very far, perhaps. And then, I have enough savings, my husband, my wife, my family, I'm going to take the 10 weeks and go learn this and invest. And it's a full-time job. Yes.
I think that is a great model. And so have you found more companies using that model to help Blacks get into this space? Because I think that's a wonderful model.
Yes, we're very excited about that program and the people that are participating in it. And yes, it's a benefit of membership at Built. And so, yeah, join Built and we can get you hooked up.
All right. So those who are interested in becoming a member of Built, how can they get in contact with you, and how can they become a member of Built?
Well, there are so many different ways. So my name, Peter Beasley. You can find me on LinkedIn, certainly that way. Our website is builtinternational.org, BUILTINT international.org. And so I'll put in the share here if I can. Let's see, where's the
Right in the comment.
How come I see mute, stop, cam?
That's okay. I'll do it for
you.
To
the right. There it is, to the right. So so that's private chat. So let's do another one. I can click over here. Believe it or not, I do know a little bit about tech. How about that?
Let me tell you something. I can put some stuff together, Peter. Like I'll find a hook that hook it all up, and they be like, "How do you know this stuff?" Because I normally create things based on what I need. And so if I need to learn how to do something, I know I don't know how to code, but I can go out there and find some open source and put it all together and make it work. And I've been doing that probably since 13, like 2013, just making things happen.
Yes.
If you can't find it, I'll drop the link in.
Well, I put it in the private chat, but did it show up?
It'll only show up to me.
Okay, can you move it over? Because it doesn't look like I have the ability to move it over.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let me see, can I copy that? Copy link. Yep. We're going to put it right there. Copy link.
And then, so that first link is we have an event coming up in 30 minutes. It's a national event for us. We have, looks like right around 100 people RSVP'd for it. It's understanding Black culture in tech. And so here we discuss where did you come from and where are you going, and for people to understand where we came from and what difference can we make. And it's a great conversation with a lady, Elizabeth Liba, and she's dynamic and a great speaker. And so we have that coming up. I put the link in of how to join Built. So there's that. Again, get on a committee, start a chapter. So that's another great way. You could be the wonderful Audrey Bell Kearney. She's runs our chapter. You could be her. Well, it's hard to be her. But again, I was a volunteer. I volunteered and rode the wave. If you get involved with a startup in a hot market and you can work hard and ride the wave, you can ride up the top of the wave. It's a lot of work. I work 7 days a week. It's a lot of hard work, but it's on purpose. We're trying to get something done, and we will succeed in that. And so you can do that too. You can do it in your geography.
When you said a very key thing, you said it's on purpose. And I think when you're on purpose with things, even though it's a lot of hard work, you still don't mind doing it. Like for me, being in the spaces that I am, I'm on purpose and I work a lot, and Peter knows I've been trying to get it together since January, since my mom passed. But I thank God I'm to the point where now I feel like it's together and I'm on purpose. But I've been on purpose for a very long time. And when you are on purpose, it's not really work. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's the truth. Like I wake up extra early. I can go to bed late and still get up extra early and be ready to get started with my day. And I try to listen to what all the gurus say. Don't look at the phone before you get out and pray and eat and drink water and all that. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that. But when I get up, that's the first thing I want to do is like, okay, let me see what my notes are for the day. Let me see what I got to do today. That's the first thing I want to do. So he is on purpose, guys, and he is helping, he's helping us bridge this gap between blacks in the tech space. And there's some great things coming out of it. The symposium, make sure to check it out. I'll be talking to Carla next Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure to join in. She's going to talk about the symposium. She's going to talk about what the City of Brotherly Love is doing. She's going to talk about how they're making it a hub in Philly right now, like just like they're doing here in Dallas and Austin. We are in those areas heavy in most of those areas. So why not take advantage of all the technology that's coming out? Because here's the thing, tech isn't going anywhere, nowhere. I just told you I sat here and turned my air conditioner up sitting right here and you didn't even know it. Tech is not going anywhere. Pretty soon, the little robot that sweeps the floor for you, she's going to be cooking you dinner. So just know that it's not going anywhere. We need to be on the other side of the table. We need to be on that. So Built and all of the affinity programs and all of the people that Peter are connecting us to, they're going to allow you to do that. So be sure to join Built. I'll drop the link in the comments right there. Join. Unfortunately, Facebook is down. I know Mark Zuckerberg and his team are going crazy right now, along with everybody else who live on Facebook. That happens not to be me. I didn't even know it was down until I got ready to go live. I'm not a Facebook person. But anyway, there's a meetup coming up in about 30 minutes over there. So make sure if you're in the Dallas area, that's in Dallas, right, Peter?
This is an international event. Our guest, she's actually out of Miami, and we have a moderator from Austin and two of us from Dallas. And you mentioned Carla. I will point out Carla is not a technologist. She's a human resources person. She was referred to us by a technologist in another state, and I met her, got to talking to her, and said, we need a chapter president for Philadelphia. She says, I'm in. Like, whoa. And then again, showed up, volunteered. Everything she said she wanted to do or was going to do, she did. She's on our board now. She also said, I will go next with the Philadelphia Black Tech Symposium. It's that simple. Be who you say you are, say you can do it, have some skill. So I can name our wonderful board, Kenesha Washington out of Dallas. Everything she says she wants to do, can do, will do, does do. Darius Boomer is new on our board. Kerry Hawkins, great on our board. John Melanson, we wouldn't be here without him, one of our co-founders. I want to make sure I mention everybody on our board. Terrell Gamble, brand new out of San Francisco. We don't have a San Francisco chapter leader. Silicon Valley, he says, well, I'll make sure we get one. So just all these people that are leaning in and that are helping at the top, but we need so much help on committees. Kevin Butler, he volunteered on the programs committee and already has made inroads in getting us more mentor sponsors, so we rely on our mentor sponsors. Joy Tony out of Memphis, new on our board. Who am I leaving out? There's somebody I'm leaving out. I'm gonna get myself in trouble here, but I will remember Darius, John. There's 4 guys and 4 women. I think I did get everybody. 4 women, 4 guys. We actually have an open board position too. So, we can appoint another board person. So let us know that too.
Yeah. So listen, I'm happy to be a part of it. So the Metro may be the next symposium for 2022. Got me thinking.
Okay.
Got me thinking. But I want to be able to. I want to really be able to bridge that gap here. We have some amazing people. Did y'all know that Calendly is here in Atlanta? Did you know that? No. Calendly is here in Atlanta. So is MailChimp, who just got acquired for like $100 billion. Like wow. They're both in the metro. Yeah, both in Atlanta. And so we got some heavy hitters here in the metro area. So I will probably be talking to Peter about the symposium for 2022 and here in the metro area. But more so, if you are in the metro area and you want to join a committee, you want to join me and be on my committee, I will be happy to have you. So just reach out to me, audrey@noisemedia.us, and say put board in the subject line, because I get a million emails. I need to know who's talking. Just put board in there, or a committee or something, so I know you. I know you came from this live stream. So Peter, thank you so much. I know you got another event, and I don't want to hold you. And I know you're trying to do a yard sale and all that good stuff. I don't want to hold you, but thank you again. And I look so forward to helping you continually to empower people and educate people about the tech space and how they can get involved and how we can truly build this gap and make it inclusive for all people of color.
Yes, and we're here to help you and this audience. Is so much of what we're doing this for. Again, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Audrey. I would love to do it again sometime if you would invite me back.
Absolutely.
If you need me to. And it's really the audience and just seeing the comments, and so happy that we can be here to help and want to help more.
All right. Thanks so much. Listen, guys, I'll be back next Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the new guest, Ms. Carla Hill. Be sure to tune in and be sure to share this show with your friends. If you like this episode, be sure to follow Built. Be Built Together. Be sure to go to Built and become a member. It's really inexpensive. Like, seriously, like I eat that on crab legs. So go over there, sign up, and join this movement, because it is a movement. It is definitely a movement. So, Peter, you have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I will talk to you soon.
Oh, thank you so much, Audrey. Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome. Bye. So listen, guys, I'll be back again next Monday with a new guest. Be sure to tune in and be sure to check us out. We have an event coming up here in October. Go to meetup.com. You'll see the Metro Atlanta chapter event coming up. It's going to be, I think it's October the 20th. So be sure to register. It's a free event. We want you to show up. We want you to be able to come in and share your information, share your passion for this movement, share your passion for tech, share your experience with tech. So that's going to be October the 20th. Go to meetup.com, type in Built, and you will find the exact date and time in there. We also have something coming up in November. That's not on the calendar just yet, but it will be. So make sure to tune in. If you want to work with me in Built here in the Metro Atlanta area, be sure to email me, Audrey, at noisemedia.us. Listen, stay safe out there. Keep your mask on. The pandemic is still out there. I'll be back again this time next Monday at 5 a.m. Until next time, my good friends, make it a great day. Bye now.